What if there was a 10th Titan shifter in Attack on Titan, and if there was, what could that look like? This is something that I'm sure every Attack on Titan fan has pondered at least once before. With the current shifters and their unique abilities, as a fan we can't help but wonder, what if a Titan had an ability X or could do Y? In a world with huge franchises such as Marvel that host an endless roster of unique and powerful supernatural fighters, it's natural for us to want more from the Titan shifters in Attack on Titan, to think up crazy overpowered abilities and forms, and place them into this world. Whilst it's so much fun to speculate these kinds of things, of course it's very easy for things to get out of hand. To think up a Titan shifter with so many powerful abilities that they would be extremely overpowered if placed into the world of Attack on Titan. They could be capable of obliterating everything in their wake, something that Isayama would never create.
You underestimate my power!
But if we take a moment to put ourselves in the shoes of this genius writer, perhaps we could begin to think sensibly and create a realistic and balanced 10th Titan shifter for Attack on Titan. Now of course, our theoretical shifter must follow the typical formula for a Titan shifter within Attack on Titan. You know, the transform via self-harm, curse of Ymir, etc, etc. But the fun part is thinking up a unique ability or attribute that will set our shifter apart from the others. Think of the Colossal Titan's size or the Warhammer Titan's ability to create an arsenal of weapons through Titan hardening. This will be the main feature of our shifter, their main ability. Now typically, this primary ability is simply a more advanced version of a core characteristic that a shifter usually has. Think of the Jaw Titan's bite being a more powerful version of a standard Titan's bite, or Zeke's ability to transform Eldians into Titans being an extension of a shifter's ability to transform themselves into a Titan. Keeping this in mind, I see only one clear option, and that is Titan regeneration. Shifters and mindless Titans alike all have the ability to regenerate their bodies when damaged. Titan shifters can even focus this healing into certain parts of their body if multiple parts are injured. We see Annie utilise this ability to devastating effect when fighting the Levi Squad back in Season 1. Now, just imagine a Titan shifter that had an enhanced version of Titan regeneration, a shifter that could regenerate their wounds within seconds as opposed to the usual minutes that it takes for other Titan shifters to do so. Of course, to keep this balanced within Attack on Titan, there will have to be some ground rules. For example, the regeneration can be a feat of strength and not an automatic thing, meaning not only that the shifter has to consciously decide to speed regenerate, but also that doing so can slowly exhaust them, much like when the Warhammer Titan materializes Titan hardening. This would make sure that our shifter could not heal completely and endlessly, and not just avoid harm forever. I also think it could be interesting to extend this ability to the host of the shifter ability, whilst in their human state. Maybe dialed back as to not instantly regenerate from harm, but I'm thinking some kind of hybrid between the resilience of an Ackerman and Reiner's immense plot armor. The host of this shifter could be extremely tolerant of pain and have an unnaturally durable body much like an Ackerman. Instead of healing insanely fast, being able to take a bullet to a non-vital region of their body and still be able to move and fight effectively. They could also be much harder to kill in a human form, such as what we see with Reiner in Season 3. But in this case, it isn't just intense plot armor, but instead an intentional ability. To keep this balanced, we could extend the exhaustion rule to the human abilities as well. Not only will they cause the shifter exhaustion, but also they could become significantly less effective after the shifter has transformed once already. On that note though, we need to consider how many times a veteran with this shifter is able to transform into a Titan in a single day. Eren's Attack Titan power, when mastered, is capable of 3 transformations. However, the ability of the Attack Titan isn't very exhausting on the user. Our shifter's ability is, however, so at most I would say a shifter with the mastery of this form could transform 2 times in a single day. Now that we have the main ability of the shifter mapped out, there is another element of the shifter that will make them unique, and that is their appearance. For the most part, the shifters in Attack on Titan have key characteristics that influence what their Titan forms will look like, and these characteristics are tied to the abilities that the shifter has. Great examples of this are the Armored Titan's armor or the Jaw Titan's jaws. In the case of our shifter, I would say that they would have no skin, much like the Colossal Titan. This is because of the shifter's healing ability. It's much easier for a Titan that's constantly healing its wounds to not need to regenerate the skin as well, making it practical for our Titan to be skinless. I would also say it would be characteristic for this shifter to have longer limbs and a slimmer build, similar to Zeke's beast, but with a less bulky body and not so stubby legs. The Titan's slimmer build would further complement the shifter's healing ability, as it would be more logical for the shifter to be able to heal so incredibly fast if there's less mass to actually heal. And the longer limbs are simply a design choice to differentiate this shifter more so from the others. Finally, our Titan would have a male build. This is simply due to the simplistic naming of the female Titan, meaning there cannot be another shifter with female characteristics. Therefore, despite the gender of the human possessing the shifter, the Titan form will always have a male build, much like the Cart Titan when Peak is the host. One final thing to note is that our shifter will reside in the nape of their Titan form, much like the generic shifters we see throughout the series. I feel the regeneration ability paired with the crystal that the Warhammer's host resides in would just be far too overpowered. And just like that, we have created ourselves a Titan shifter, and all it needs is a name. Now this part has always troubled me when thinking of a theoretical shifter, as the names in Attack on Titan are simple, and honestly just boring. I mean, who decided to call Eren's Titan form the Attack Titan because it attacks? Honestly. But somehow these names work, and therefore we need to also think of a simple yet fitting name for our new shifter. Since the Titans are often named for their key visual characteristics, I think we will name our new friend the Slender Titan. This is obviously due to his long, slender build. Now there we have it, the 10th Titan shifter is all but complete and ready to join the world of Attack on Titan. But there is just one more thing we need to consider, and that is the wielders of royal blood. Much like in the case of Zeke, royal-blooded shifters gain an extra ability from their shifter form. So in the case of our Slender Titan, we need an extra ability both related to the Eldian people and our Titan's unique abilities. I'm thinking some kind of Vampire Diaries-esque healing ability. If our shifter, whilst in their human state, allows another Eldian to drink their blood, then that Eldian's wounds will be healed as if a shifter themselves. This healing would not be at the pace of our shifter, as that would be completely busted, but instead at the pace of a regular Titan shifter. Now to further limit this very strong ability just a little bit, the healing will require a mouthful of blood at least. Just a drop will not be sufficient to kickstart the healing. It will also only heal injuries they have already sustained and not injuries in the near future, despite the blood being in the Eldian system. Finally, the blood cannot be stored and then used at a later date. It will have a 10-minute time period from the moment it leaves our shifter's body until its healing properties are lost. This will prevent some crazy mass collection by a military power. I mean, imagine how powerful it would be for every Eldian soldier to carry a few vials of this blood if it didn't expire. But after that, we are truly done. Our 10th shifter has been born. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to show some colossal love by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Also, make sure to leave your thoughts below on what your 10th Titan shifter would look like. Do you agree with my choices? Anything you would change? Finally, would you like to see me make another video like this, where we create yet another shifter? Leave it all below. But with that, I'll catch you guys later.